Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsey. Today I'm excited to share with you my first alternative card using the February 2023 paper pumpkin kit called Sunshine and Smiles. This fun kit creates 9 springtime handmade cards. These are the intended cards you can make with the kit. There are enough supplies to make 3 of each card. They are the perfect way to send a little note to bring sunshine and smiles to your loved ones. If you would like to watch me unbox the kit and create these cards, you can click on the playlist and I'll link it up here in the top right corner. Each month I take the contents from the paper pumpkin kits and make alternative cards. Today I am sharing with you 2 cards. The first one is this clear card. This unique card uses the opening on the original card base and gives a chance to use a different inside image. The second card comes together quickly with the die cuts from the kit. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get updates when I post a new video. And you can do that by clicking on the link in the bottom right corner. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you're interested in getting your own paper pumpkin subscription, please use the link below in the description box to subscribe. To begin making these cards, you need to get 2 of the card bases. We're going to be using the yellow card base for the outside of our frame. So we're going to cut that right in half on that score line. So that's going to be at 4 1/4 inches. And then make sure to save this for future alternative cards that I'll be sharing throughout the week. The second one that we're going to use is the pink card base. It has the rainbow. So we're going to go ahead and cut that at 4 1/4 as well. And then save this again for our future cards. We're going to then rotate this and we're going to cut in half at 2 3/4 inches. So we're going to be using both of these today. For our second card, I want to use the one that's a little lower on that piece. So I'm going to hold that and place it off to the side. For our first one, I'm going to use this one that feels like it's just more in the center, and that's going to be for the center of our card base. Next, you're going to want to take a window sheet, and you need to cut it to a card base size, which is 5 1/2 inches by 8 1/2 inches. And then I am going to score it at 4 1/4 inches. This is just going to help me so that I can fold it in half a little bit easier. And you will also want to have a bone folder to fold your clear card. So go ahead and match up the corners and then pinch that center. And then do the same on the other side. And then you can kind of push all those together. And then once you like your fold, go ahead and use a bone folder and press really hard to make that crease. And you'll get something like this. So the window sheets that Stampin' Up! Sells do come in a 12 by 12 pack. So you won't be able to make too many of these, but a full pack will get you 4. The next thing we're going to do is get some of the die cut pieces that we'll be using on our card. So the first piece is this hill grassy piece. We do need 2 clouds, as well as the frog and the small flowers. And we're not going to use all of the small flowers. We're going to cut it apart. So on the back of the hill, we are going to try and create 2 pieces. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to flip over my die cut piece, and I'm going to trace along this hill edge so that I can get 2 hills from this one piece. So I'm going to eyeball about halfway down on the right and about halfway on the left, and then take a pencil and just trace that top edge there. Oops. And then you'll take a pair of paper snips and just cut along that line. And it doesn't have to be exact or perfect. It's just giving you an idea for that slope. Okay, and then you'll take one of these, and I'm just going to use this bottom piece because it already has a straight edge, and we're going to line it up on the bottom of our piece here. Okay, so we just need that little bit there, so a little bit of adhesive, and line that up. And then flip it over and trim off the excess. And you'll want to hold on to both of these pieces here. So the large and the small, and we're going to use that for our next alternative card. So don't throw those away. We also are going to do some stamping on this piece. You'll want to get your Mango Melody ink spot, and then I'm going to use Memento black ink for my greetings. So the sun is going to get stamped in the top left or top right corner with the Mango Melody ink. And then down here at the bottom, right above the hill, kind of in the green and blue section of the rainbow, I'm going to stamp the "You Brighten My Day." And I want to push it as far to the right as I can. So like that. So let's go ahead and add some of these pieces to our clear card base. So clear card bases are a little tricky because you can see the adhesive through the card base. So if that bothers you, you can always add some paper or something to kind of cover it up on the opposite side. So I'm going to begin with my closed card base, and I'm going to add this white, basic white piece of cardstock. This is going to be the back of my card where I can leave a greeting to whoever I'm sending that to. It is 1/4 inch larger than this piece, so it's 3 inches by 4.5 inches. So I'm going to just add it to the back. The easiest way to do this is to just eyeball with your card base closed. So something like that. Then you'll open this up and we'll add our inside piece. And I'm using tear and tape. I think this is a really good adhesive to use with clear card bases. It's nice and tacky and it doesn't make a mess. And so this will have a little bit of border all the way around on the inside. Okay, so something like that. Now hopefully you've centered it well enough that when you add your frame, it's going to show just this center part and not any of the outside. But I think that looks pretty good. So I can go ahead and add my frame now. One thing I've noticed about clear card bases is when you open them, then they have a hard time going back to being folded flat. So you sometimes have to use your bone folder again. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some tear and tape along the outside edge of the frame from the card base. And this is going to go on the front of my card. So I like to sometimes stand up my card bases and then I can kind of lay the front down on top like that. So it's going to look something like that. Then we can use the cute die cuts that came in the kit and add these to the outside and the inside of our card. So I'm going to begin a little bit on the inside. I've got one of the clouds and I just want to tuck that a little bit over the sun. And then I can do the same for a cloud on the outside. This time I want to use a dimensional. So this is where you are going to see the adhesive poking through on that clear card. So if that bothers you, you may want to trace your die cuts from some basic white cardstock, and then you can add that over the inside on this back panel, or the back side of the front panel, so that you don't have to see the adhesive. It doesn't bother me so much because there's such a cute little inside for them to look at. I'm also going to add my little frog in the bottom left corner. And then my flowers. So I'm going to cut, you can choose either the left 3 or the right 3. I'm just going to do the same ones I did here, which is the right 3. So I'm going to fussy cut those apart. And you may want to just do a little extra fussy cutting just to make that end flower feel a little more finished along that side. So maybe something like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. And we'll add that to the inside of the card. And that just goes right next to your greeting. You can tuck it underneath the hill of grass that we added. And then we have 2 more things we need to stamp. So the first thing I'm going to stamp is my greeting, and I'm just going to stamp it on one of the labels from the kit, and it's the Wishing You Sunshine and Smiles. And I'm going to stamp it in Memento black ink and just center it right there in the middle of the label. And then the second thing I need to stamp is the kite. And there is this die cut kite that comes in the kit, and we're just going to stamp the image that comes in the stamp set that comes in the kit in any color you want. And I'm going to do Flirty Flamingo because it coordinates nicely with the pink in the rainbow. And you're just going to have to eyeball, do your best to kind of put that stamp in the center of the kite. It's not going to be perfect. So you're going to want to add the kite to your card first, and that just goes on the right side at a little angle. And then your greeting will go on top of that. I've put dimensionals on both. Now your greeting, you want to place it so that it covers up the greeting on the inside. So just wherever it can cover it up, make sure it's nice and straight so that that second greeting is a surprise when you open your card. And that card is all done. I love this fun clear card idea. Such a nice surprise, and it gives a little area in the back where you can write your message. So for card number 2, you're going to choose 2 coordinating colors. My card base is Petal Pink cardstock, and then I did cut a border piece that is Flirty Flamingo, and it is just 1/4 inch larger. So it's 3 inches by 4.5 inches. And I'm just going to add the rainbow piece to the center of that, just like this. And then I did want to add a little bit of a bow. So I've got some linen thread. This is 22 inches of linen thread. And I'm going to straighten it out just a little bit by running it through my fingers and then finding the center and adding that to one side and then wrapping the sides back and forth to kind of create a double wrap. And then I'm going to tie a bow. And then you can move that bow by holding onto the front and the back and then just sliding it. And then I'm going to bring it down just a little bit so it's not quite so high up on that card. Maybe in the center of the green, about there. Then I can add this to my card base with some dimensionals. And that can go right in the center. Then I've done some stamping already. I've stamped my sun on some scratch basic white cardstock and then my greeting on one of the labels from the kit. And I did that in Memento black ink again. And this, I stamped it in the Mango Melody. And I'm just going to go ahead and fussy cut this sun out so that I can use it on my card. So it looks something like this. And then we're going to add it with a dimensional, and we'll do the same with our greeting. So just pop the greeting on first. It can kind of come off of the edge of the center panel if you want. Then we'll add our sun, and that will just be right above on the left. And then we'll add some flowers. Now you can use the small flowers or you can get the larger ones, which is what I used here, is a couple of these larger flowers. So I use these 3 here on the right, and you just go ahead and separate those, and you can pop those up with a dimensional as well. So you can take a dimensional and cut it in half, and that will hide nicely right behind those flowers. And just tuck that right underneath your greeting, just like that. And if you want to add some of the Flirty Flamingo enamel dots that came in the kit, you can do that as well. Maybe something like that, wherever you want to add those. Here's one without, and here is one with. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create my first alternative projects using the February 2023 Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you're interested in getting your own subscription to Paper Pumpkin, please use the link below in the description box. If you would like to see written instructions or close-up images on how I created these cards, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.